All right, there we go. Fucking day 101. Now we're fucking really into triple digits. Leg day. So, gonna go back to that same gym as the last arm video. It's pretty solid. Metro Fitness. Oh, I have so many fucking empty jugs in my passenger seat. Okay, so legs, Metro Fitness. I may or may not squat. I'll just have to see how I feel. But the first part of the workout is going to be hamstrings. So for me, hamstrings, I always start off legs with them just because I want to get hamstrings, like, it's a little bit more in depth of an explanation than this. But I want to just get hamstrings out of the way so I can go crazy on quads and not have to worry about leaving anything in the tank, right? Because if you finish quads and you actually, train hard, you're going to be fucked up. You don't want to sit here and do a bunch of hamstring curls at the end when you're already exhausted. By the time you're done with hamstrings, you shouldn't really be too fatigued, like in general. And having a hamstring pump is not going to affect your pressing strength. And even less so is it can affect your strength on the leg extension. So once I move on to quads, or no, what am I? Hamstrings is going to be a ton of hamstring curls. They've got a variety of machines here, so I'll just bounce around each of them. And then quads is going to start off with maybe squats, maybe not. I'm not certain. I'll just see how it feels. After that, I'll probably jump around the leg extension, and this gym has a fucking badass, like, sideways stack loaded hack squat. So, like, it's not a plate loaded hack squat, it's like a machine. And something about the pulley and like the strength curve of it just feels super good. So you'll probably see a ton of that. And then by the time I'm done, I should be pumped beyond belief, or at least probably not beyond belief. That's the goal, but it'll be a good pump. So drink this pre, and then we can fucking get in there. So before I do any kind of hamstrings, right here, I'll always start off with like a little bit of calf warm up, because you can almost imagine your calf like the forearm of your leg. So when you do curls, you're working your forearm a little. So I did a couple of light sets. I think I'll try to throw the stack around for maybe 4 or 5 and then move on to a single leg movement or something. Nothing complicated. I'll probably only do maybe 3 movements and just start off really heavy and get lighter as they progress. If you've seen the other leg day videos, like where I'm at my normal gym, you've seen me kind of stand on a leg extension backwards and do single leg curls. That's pretty much just what this machine actually is. So I'm not going to try to like move as much weight as possible. This machine is fucking heavy too. Like the whole stack, one leg, I don't think I could even do it. So I'm just going to focus on getting a really good squeeze. Right, go for more of a burnout set rather than a max out set, if you can imagine. All right, I think I'll do some single leg laying curls. I would do seated, but honestly, they don't really have a good seated hamstring curl here. Unfortunate. I mean, at this point, hamstrings have already been demolished and they're pumped. So for these last 2 sets, it really doesn't matter what I do, as long as I get a good squeeze. So I'll do one more set of this and then another set of laying single leg, and that should be good. That's a little too light. There we go. Okay, time for quads. No, yeah. Oh,
Nice. Oh, great.
yeah, that felt good. It's just freaky with no safeties. Oh my god. So with legs, I mean, oh, okay, before I get into that, if I'm being honest with you, I had more reps in the tank that set. It's just kind of freaky having spotters. I wish I had safety arms, because I don't mind failing a squat with safeties, because I know all I have to do is go down slowly and I won't die. Not that I don't trust those 2 guys that had spot me, but like you never know what could happen. So typically I would recommend that you squat with safeties. You know, squat, you just don't know what can go wrong. But still a good set. Like, I don't know, maybe I had 2 more perhaps, but whatever. Live and learn, move on. I'm gonna slam out some single leg extensions, and then I'll do some other variation. This is that sideways hack squat I said I liked. So I think I'll just do 3-ish sets of this. You know, Tom Platz style on the toes. Should feel fucking pretty good. My fucking hips feel real tight. So instead of doing a bunch of those sissy squats like I did like, I'm just gonna do leg extensions and then do the last few supersetted with body weight sissy squats. And record the last, what was that, 4 sets? But all it was leg extensions, so you didn't really miss out on much. I feel decently pumped. I think I've been more pumped in the past, though. Ooh. Yeah. So let's see what we're working with here. Yeah. Pretty much as expected. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Let's just get in the goddamn car. After calves. Oh. Oh. That's a little off today. Felt just a little off. Well, hamstrings felt good. Just quads was, I don't know, maybe a little. I didn't really feel weak. You know, like good set of squats. That felt. I almost didn't do the squats. In my mind, I was like, oh, they might hurt my adductor. I don't want to do squats. And then, you know, I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a second. Am I a baby? Fuck. Yeah, am I a little baby? Am I not going to squat? Last I checked, you know, in between my legs, I got a pair of something. If you guys don't, shit, you can skip squats. So, that's not necessarily my exact take on the matter. You know, in my mind, the lifts are arbitrary. You know, bench press, squat, like it's just a method for you to activate the intended muscle group. You know, there's nothing, well, obviously there's benefits and drawbacks of all sorts of lifts, but there's nothing inherently special about any specific exercise. How that'll come into play is like, if you've ever heard someone say you burn stomach fat by doing crunches, they may have an IQ of 60. You know, that's not how this stuff works. So, still, on the topic of squats, I mean, I do think that they are a great way to build leg strength. Like, I think doing that one set of squats where it's like legit heavy, that strength is going to translate to leg extensions, to all the other little more quad isolation movements that I do in the lift. So should you squat? Yes, as long as your knees and your back can handle it. And if you can't squat, I mean, not the end of the world, but try to load the quads as much as you can in some other way. So I get a variety of comments about ROM. Why do I not use full ROM? Mainly they say that shit about bench and I presume tricep pushdowns, right? Because when I do that first heavy set of incline bench, you know, I'm not going to my chest. I go maybe probably 6 inches above it if I'm being real. But like, that's just, I don't know, it feels like it's good to me. In my mind, I feel like the weight's coming down and I get to that height and I'm like, that feels good. Boom, push it back up. That could be attributed to the fact that I'm just tight. You know, my shoulders, my chest is just too tight. Maybe I should be more flexible. But I don't mind doing it like that. And even tricep pushdowns, where I'm not going all the way up here and then all the way to the straightened position. I still like the way I do it because it's, you know, targeting the idea, or maybe not targeting, but it's focusing on the idea that I'm trying to load the intended muscle with as much tension as possible, right? And, you know, try to get in the most intense set as possible, you know? If I were to go in the gym and my mindset was, okay, I have to do every rep perfectly executed with perfect form, and if my form starts to break down, it's gonna kill my gains. I'm gonna get injured, and at that point, don't even go to the gym. Don't even go to the gym. What the fuck? Right? Dude, oh. When you go back and you look at some big ass dogs from these 80s like vintage clips, are they doing fucking perfect form? No, they're fucking throwing weight around, you know? And they're not just throwing it around for the sake of throwing it around, right? I would hope that I mean, they're all old now, but if I were to ask them, why are you doing it like that? I would hope that they would tell me, well, I want to fucking curl as heavy as possible. So fuck, you know, you gotta swing it, whatever, bro. As long as it's a hard set. I mean, you do you. I'm not your dad, right? I'm not necessarily telling you to do anything. You know, I'm just sort of showing you what I do. And you can take that information with what you will. But, I understand the comments, you know. I'm sure it wouldn't hurt me to bench deeper. That's just what feels good for me. I say that a lot, man. Whatever feels good for you, that's what you should be doing. Assuming you have a moderate, you know, ability to use your brain logically, then you should be able to understand how your fucking muscles are working. You know, if I were, like, you ever see the memes where it's like, ask your girlfriend what muscle this lift is hitting. It might be too niche of a reference, but you got to think, if you're trying to work your chest, all you're doing, all this doesn't even matter. The only thing that's moving is this upper portion of your arm, your humerus. All it's going is here to here in the most basic sense. So any way that you can load that movement path is going to work, right? There's different ways to do it, which I would describe as more effective than others, right? Like starting off with as much load as possible with like a bench press or a machine press or dumbbell press. And then towards the end of the lift, focusing more on a squeezing movement, like a pec fly. I don't even know. I'm getting all worked up about ego lifting and form. But you should be able to end of the rant. You should be able to know when you did a good set, right? And how you do it, that can be up to you. You know, if you're anal about, I need to have my scapula retracted, and I'm not going to swing, and I'm just going to concentrate on contracting my triceps with the rope push down. If that's what you really want to do, if that, in your mind, that just clicks, that's how you're going to build the biggest triceps, fuck, man, that's what you got to do, and just, you know, go hard. Or if you're like me and you're like, okay, I don't mind swinging the fuck out of this weight, but I'm going to make sure that I go hard and I fucking feel fatigued in my tricep, then that's what I'm going to do, you know? This isn't really a fucking science, right? You can't go to a college course titled Muscle Building 101 and have them tell you the exact perfect method to add 1 inch onto the arms. You know, this shit, it's a work in progress scientifically. So, even though it's such a quote-unquote mystery, it's still not that fucking difficult, right? If you were to ask a kid how he should build muscle, he's probably going to say, oh, you should lift weights in the gym or whatever. You should try to get stronger. You know, it's just simple, man. You go into the gym, you lift some heavy weight, heavy relative to you, and then you get a pump. Perfect. You can complicate it more and more as you get smarter and you gather more lifting knowledge, but at the end of the day, that should be true for all lifters who are, you know, at least slightly interested in making progress. You can't really tell in this shirt, it doesn't really change colors, when it gets wet. I'm sweaty as all fuck. I wonder what my fucking car smells like. I think, I think, I think I might be nose blind. But whatever. Holy shit. Why didn't you fucking remind me about my dextrose shake? Oh my god. Oh, I just lost gains. Not exactly. Not exactly. Whew. Oh. Oh. Whew. It's like a different kind of protein than normal. Ugh. Whatever. I'm gonna go home, eat food, and then I'm gonna pass out. Not now, but later. So I'll see you next time.